Okay, so welcome to session 4, June 12th? June 12th. Okay, so welcome back. We had a week off, kind of. Um, so this week we will be talking about guilt, mostly guilt, a little shame, and forgiveness. Really powerful. When we feel guilt and we then typically that's what leads us to act in fear. It leads us to enable. Um, and it's just really a very ineffective emotion. It's a normal human emotion, but when we take care of it, we're just so much clearer to tap into our heart and skill. Forgiveness, I believe, is the cornerstone to all healing. And my experience of that is it takes a lot of deep work to truly get a complete forgiving where you can think of a person or a situation with no rub to it. Um, so we'll dive into a little forgiveness tonight too. Hey Liz.
Hi,
Hi, good to see you.
good to see you all.
Okay. So, why do we talk about guilt, shame, and forgiveness? So that we can really do some deep healing, increase our compassion, not just for others, but really for ourselves. And that means personal freedom. When we're free, we just look at the world differently. Our relationships become freer. So last session, session 3, we talked about helping versus enabling, honest communication, where we tap into ourselves and our motives. And, it takes practice to say, no, honestly. So there was a handout, a worksheet on communicating with love with lots of ideas on, you know, exactly what you can say to communicate honestly and effectively. Part of the homework was to inquire into some of those thoughts and actually hear yourself talking like this, if it's a challenge for you. So this session really, it all works unless we're unwilling to let go. But when we let go, actually the whole process is that we are provided for. And it also works unless you're believing everything you think and not questioning it. So everything that we experience is because we're attaching and we're believing our thoughts. When we question those and see it from a much larger perspective to something that is truer or just as true for us, well, then we're at choice. Then we have options. And then we really start to integrate a different way of being that serves our relationships. So let's start with a little breathing. I'd like to practice that 448 that we looked at in our very first session. So it's breathing in for a count of 4, holding it for 4. If that's too much, just hold it for 2. And then exhaling through your mouth for a count of 8. So it's breathing in, hold, breathing out. I won't count it. I invite you to count it mentally for yourself, and then I'll say other things as you are breathing. Okay. So let's begin breathing. Breathing in, and as you breathe, I invite you to just close your eyes. Notice your breath. Notice being breathed. Count. Breathing in, holding, breathing out. Become the observer of that. Let it have you. Just be your breath. There's nowhere to go, nothing else to do. And notice your head, how it's supported by your neck, how that's all supported by your shoulders, and your arms. And very much supported you are as you breathe. How you're supported by your chest, your abdomen, where you sit. And notice how wherever you're sitting or laying, how that supports you too. Notice how your body just rests there. The textures, the sounds, allow everything just as you're being breathed. Let your body relax into where you are. As that relaxation moves into your legs, your knees, your ankles, your feet, your toes. As you breathe in calm. Breathing out, breathe the present moment, fully supported, being breathed, everything working for you. Okay. So welcome back to our space. So I want to get right into it. There's a big difference between guilt and shame. As you may know, Brene Brown, is anyone familiar with Brene Brown's work? It's fantastic if you feel any shame. So guilt is really common. Actually, shame is too. But guilt is, the difference is that guilt makes us feel uncomfortable about something that we did or said. And shame goes deeper. It becomes an identity of who we are. We think something's wrong with our being. And so we hide. And oftentimes that kind of shame will have us looking for approval or pretending or going overboard with what we do. Trying to make something right that just because we feel so unworthy. It's that feeling of unworthiness. And everybody gets this, from CEOs to, Congress people and, the person on the street. So as we know, we hear that this is what our children feel, this deep sense of unworthiness, that their very being is wrong and unwelcomed. And there's no escape from it other than to pretend and hide and run away from it. So when we do that, it actually just exacerbates and strengthens the shame. So if you notice any physical sensations of shame, we look away, our breathing is very shallow, our heart pounds because there's a sense of humiliation, not just embarrassment, but we are internally humiliated that we just don't belong anymore. But being accountable for it and taking care of it loosens the grip, and it leads to self-compassion. So when we understand ourselves from this kind of place, we can more easily move into compassion for someone else, knowing that we are the same. We feel shame, they feel shame. So guilt is we apologize. It's external. We apologize, we make amends, and then we can have more positive self-talk and look forward to growth and learning and change behavior. Shame shows up, and here it's going to sound very familiar. Shame shows up when we look outside ourselves with blame, rationalization, numbing out, not allowing for true joy, right? Isn't this what our children do? They blame, they numb out. And the payoff, we think, is that we don't feel any worse than we do. But that's not working for us. So the payoff just doesn't work. And that's when we're most likely inclined to engage in self-destructive behaviors, procrastinate, numb, not seek out our joy, and get to. So Brene Brown writes that the opposite of guilt and shame is empathy and compassion. So when we develop that, when we feed empathy and compassion, which we all have, that is a indirect way of taking care of guilt and shame. It brings us into this deeper understanding and place of giving. So Katie writes, what you believe about yourself and others in the world can make you sick, right? I mean, this is how people get sick. The emotional and mental landscape is so full of pain that the stress of it makes our bodies sick. But what is true about you can heal everything, everything being how you look at the world. So you may know, and I just invite you to hear this, there is nothing at all that you can do to change your worthiness, your belonging. You've always been worthy of worth and value. You've always belonged. You're worthy right now. It's not, I'll be worthy if or when something changes. It's now. You can't change it. It's just who you are. Born worthy, die worthy, and worthy in between everything at any time. You are love itself, loved and lovable. This is how you're created from a higher power, or even if people don't have a higher power, it's just, love is the energy of creation, and it's the highest energy on earth. So we're of that energy, and we belong to all of this. So I invite you to just, shine your light into truly accepting this about yourself and believing this about our children, that underneath the layers of addiction and shame, this is who they are. And to remember them this way, to look for the qualities of them this way, and to remember that, to speak of that. We say, what language are we talking? We tell our stories about everything, that they've done or might do, that we talk about their shame, we talk about, the struggle. But to change the language sometimes and talk about them in this way, to talk about ourselves in this way, how does that feel? Does it change anything?
Well, of course, yeah. and I'm struck with his recent relapse. When he came back home after he was caught, all he was talking about was how much he hates himself and how he's just a piece of shit, and he's not worthy. And so it was just really up, like it uncovered these feelings in
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
That
Amazing. How courageous to speak that.
Yeah, and my thing was, I'm not sure if he means it or if he was just caught, but still I think he means it underneath everything, and he's still acting very humble. So I think that it was very courageous of him to talk like that.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I think it takes a lot of strength to be able to admit, I just feel
Yeah,
unworthy.
yeah.
So, if you have a piece of paper and your pen, I invite you to find a situation, get close to a moment in time when you felt some guilt or shame. And you said or did something. It's the thing you really don't want to admit. You don't even want to remember. You don't want to talk about it. And get close to that moment. What was it? And where were you? Who else was there? And just hold it as an image. It's just an image. Notice that it's in the past. Your imagination is conjuring up these images. And also notice how the image may have changed. It may have grown in intensity. You may have added a few more things to that image since it happened. Does everybody have one?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, I have a few. But many years ago, my son was just yelling at me, and I thought that he was pretty good at needling me and irritating me. And I started to scream. And he said, "Everybody hates you. Nobody loves you. I don't love you." And I said, "Well, I don't love you either." And I felt, the minute it came out of my mouth, I just felt horrible. And so I had guilt and shame, because I was not only believing me, I was believing him too. That, he didn't love me, nobody loved me. And that's my moment. And I invite, if any of you want to share your moment, and you don't have to. Don't all jump at that.
I could share my moment unless anybody else wants to.
I'm listening.
You don't want to share your moment?
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, this only because Joanne said hers, because mine reminds me of that. And it was just maybe a month ago, about 2 weeks after I caught him using, so 2 weeks after his relapse, and he had been clean for a year. And I was in a room, and he had put himself into this sober living place, and he asked me for his allowance. And I was so, first of all, I entered the room being really agitated and scared, because whenever I'm around him, whenever I was around him, I was very agitated and scared, because I didn't know who he was or what he was going to, just everything was up. I lost my stuff. And so when he asked me for this, I really, I looked at him and I said, "Are you effing kidding me?" And I took out my wallet and I started throwing $20 bills on the table. Like I really just lost it. Like You want money? Here, take money. Here, is this enough for cocaine? Or is this enough for meth? Take that. Why don't you go get good and goddamn high? And I was a scary witch. It was like an out of body thing. And if you would have brought up the love thing, I'm sure I would have said that too. But he was just looking at me. He's like, Mom, you're like, what? What is this? But it was a low point. And I just lost control, and I was saying things that I didn't mean. Of course, I don't want him to go buy drugs. I don't want him to give him this. Get whatever you want. Is that enough? Is that enough? Do you need more? It was cruel. And so, as soon as I saw that this session was about shame, I knew that was what I had to work with. It's very.
Thank you, Barbara.
Mm.
It's very powerful to admit the thing that we feel shame about in front of people. And I assure you, whether you do or not, say it verbally, we all have it. We all have times where we have said and done things that, we wish didn't happen, but they did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it had a life of its own.
Yep. It really does, right?
Train left the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so remembering what you said or did with a one-liner, I told my son I don't love him. And it means that, now make a list for yourself with, one sentence. It means what? I said or did that, and it means.
Okay.
I have, he'll never forget. He won't forgive me. I won't forgive me.
I gave up on him. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
He'll be scarred forever.
Yes. I was wrong. I'm a terrible mother. I did the unforgivable. So with all these thoughts that you're finding or that are finding you, is it any wonder we walk around feeling guilty and ashamed? This is what we call the underworld. All these thoughts. And this is why we hide. This is why we numb. This is what we can't admit. We can't talk about it. We don't even want to remember it. Because of all those thoughts. Okay, so right before you said or did that, I said, I don't love him. Right before that, what happened? Did someone or something happen that caused you? Now I want you to go into blame mode. What happened that caused you to feel threatened, angry, or upset? How are you offended? What did someone else say or do that offended you? Blame them for why you said or did what you did. So I said I don't love him because he was attacking me. And I had to stop him. So the offense was he was attacking me.
The offense.
Okay, we're going to put them on a worksheet, a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. And if you don't have one, you just write. I'm going to facilitate you through it. You can just write it on your paper. And what's that?
So with mine, the offense was his eyes looked bloodshot. Does that work? Not really.
No, it works.
Well,
Or the offense before, like the offense right before I said it is he looked high. That was my made up story. But
because I was hearing you before he asked me for money.
oh, that. See, I forgot already. Yeah, that was it. He asked me for money.
And if he didn't ask you for money,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been throwing money at him.
Right. See? The mind. Okay, that's right. He asked me for allowance and his eyes looked bloodshot.
Yeah.
The money thing ticked me off. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't like to see our kids look like that.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah. And for me, it's like I've been like, how dare you show up in my house that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked you not to, and you showed up that way. So it's interesting, like for me, sometimes I can move immediately into anger and disgust before I get to the sadness.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be your number one statement. Does anybody, can y'all read your number one statement? So we're starting off.
Yeah.
So what was the offense?
So, what do you mean? What was the offense?
So you said or did what you did because they did that. If they didn't do that, I wouldn't have said that. Like I said, I don't love you either because he was attacking me. If he wasn't attacking me, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, he was engaging you.
Right, but the offense is that he was attacking me. That was my perceived offense that he was doing to me. So what in your situation was the blame? What were they saying or doing that caused you to say or do whatever you did that's making you feel guilty or ashamed?
No, for me, I just sent him away, and he didn't know I was going to.
Okay, so you sent him away, and what is it before you sent him away that caused you to send him away?
Yeah, just a decision that my husband and I made.
And is there guilt about that?
Yeah, lots.
And so what did your son do that made you send him away?
Well, he was just really being himself.
And what is that? Why is that disagreeable?
Well, I didn't want him in my home.
Because
He was doing drugs.
so I sent him away because he's doing drugs.
Hmm.
So that's your number one.
But he wasn't just like that was just his life.
Yeah. He's living a drug life.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he wasn't living a drug life, I wouldn't have sent him away. So
Right.
that starts your judge your neighbor worksheet with the offense. I'm whatever the emotion because he's living a drug life.
Yeah. Couldn't trust him.
Mm-hmm. But that's the offense. He's living a drug life.
Hmm.
Lisa, do you have your number one statement?
No, I'm thinking about it.
How about Liz?
Mine had to do with a relationship, and I'm going to say I felt unloved.
And what did they say or do that made you feel unloved?
I think it was a culmination of a lot of things.
Mhm.
Probably, I don't know exact words because it was a long time ago, but something to the effect that like kind of I was replaceable, or I didn't matter that much. I don't. It was when I was bringing myself back to that time. It was just ugly feelings. I felt unattractive. I felt unloved. I felt abandoned. I felt alone. I felt overwhelmed. I felt suspicious. So I mean, all really bad feelings.
Yeah, I hear that. I felt that. Um, and so, like, I could, when I felt that, it's because someone dismissed me or insulted me. Um,
This,
they said or did something, and
yes.
that's when I started to feel all those things.
Mm.
Can you pinpoint one situation where someone said or did something and then you felt it?
I can think of different things that were done. Um, it's hard to put into words, though.
Yeah, so I invite you to pick a, like, get close to a moment. It's like, that was like they just stabbed me in the heart or they stabbed me in the back. Like, that really
Yeah,
hurt.
I can definitely put myself in that position.
Yeah, so just for the purpose of the exercise for tonight, I invite you to just pick one situation. Like, it could be anybody that was mean. You thought they were mean or dismissive or insulting, and judge them. We're going to blame them on paper.
So it
Right.
doesn't even have to be our child.
Not really.
Yeah.
So someone who, it's like, how dare they? Like,
Yeah.
they did this, and I had an outburst, or it made you do something that you feel guilty about. You reacted and you did something, and now you feel guilty about it.
Mm.
I told them to shut up because they kept interrupting me. So I feel guilty about saying shut up, but the offense that I'm putting on the worksheet is they keep interrupting me.
Mm.
And if they didn't keep interrupting me, I wouldn't have said shut up. So just find one situation in your life where you did something and you felt guilty. And what happened right before that that made you do that thing?
Mm.
Does everybody have one? The whole worksheet is based on that one thing. Anyone need help finding it?
Mm-mm. I don't.
Lisa, have you found one?
Yes.
Great. I was hoping I'm not the only one that has many.
Many. It's like every hour.
Well, let me tell you about my morning.
That's it.
Liz, do you have yours?
I do.
Okay. All right. So in statement number 2, they did that thing. Okay. He was attacking me. What do you want instead?
Mm.
Instead of what was happening, instead of what they were saying, what do you want instead?
Compassion.
Yeah. I want peace.
That's what I said to the person.
I want him to stop.
Yeah. I say that all the time now.
So in that situation, I want him to stop attacking me verbally. So I do want him to stop attacking me because it's making me do and say some really mean things back. In statement number 3, this is where we have a chance to consider them. We look at them and we give them our good advice. So for them to stop what they were doing in your statement number 1, so for me, he was attacking me. What good advice should they do? We're not saying that they're going to do it. This is just about us giving the good advice. So what's that good advice that they should do so they stop doing what they did in number 1? He should walk away. He should walk away from me. Like, he should be quiet.
You should stop being selfish.
Uh-huh.
A narcissist.
I could say now we're talking about a kid, but he should get help for his anger.
Mhm.
If he got help for his anger, he wouldn't be attacking me like that.
I have get off your.
Get off your high horse.
Yeah. Stop thinking you're so much better than everyone else and treat the people that should matter to you the way they should be treated, with respect and
Okay, so let's make
compassion.
it personal. He should treat me with respect. Make it personal. This is personal
Yep.
because he said or did something and it made you do whatever you did.
I'm getting fired up over here.
Me too.
Yep. Yep. See how easily
I'm ready to start swinging.
Yeah. 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 Like, this is what we do. This is the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet listens. It's a unconditional, loving listener to collect our thoughts and stories. Doesn't judge us. We can say anything on this worksheet. So in statement number 4, now this is all about you. This is what, we're not saying that this is what they're going to give us, but this is what we're saying we need from them. It doesn't have to be like, yeah, but they're addicted and psychotic, so they're not going to give that to me. That doesn't matter. It's what do you need for them to make it right for you? So my son was attacking me. What do I need to make it right? I need him to tell me he didn't mean it. That he could never think that, even though he said it. I need him to hug me. I need him to say, I love you, Mom. I didn't mean it.
I got ugly in that one.
What's that?
I got ugly. First, I was just being gentle, like I need for Garrett to apologize, and I need for Garrett to recognize how hard his relapse was on me. And then I said, I need for Garrett to get on his knees and beg for forgiveness. And that's kind of hard ass. I don't really need that, but it's kind of what I'd like to see because he really messed up.
Well, that's fine. That's
It
your
is?
worksheet. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
your worksheet. You can put anything. If that's what you need for him to make it right, if you have that need in you, honor it.
Well, the needy part, but not the smart part. Like the needy part needs that, but the
Well, we
realistic.
don't need to be intellectual
Okay.
about these worksheets. If it shows up, it's showing up.
Okay.
I need him to beg for my forgiveness,
You betcha.
and then I'll feel happy.
I'll feel seen.
Yep. Yep.
See, I don't even have anger. I just feel sad.
Okay, so what would take that sadness away? What would they have to do to take the sadness away?
I would like to have the anger.
Well, that's okay. You feel sad. If anger needs to show up, it will. If it doesn't,
It does towards everybody else but him.
that's something. So what would he have to, what do you need from him so that you're not sad and you're not angry at other people? What do you need for this for him to make it right?
Oh,
So we're not telling a story. We're identifying these thoughts, and these thoughts will guide us to our prescription for peace. And number 5, when they said or did that, what do you really think of them? He's mean.
When he did or said the number one thing?
Yep.
Okay.
He's mean, dangerous. Again, this is just a worksheet. It's a collector of your thoughts. The thoughts that the process is to judge somebody else. That's the way out, by judging. So the worksheet and the work can hold anything. Your worst fear, the most disgusting thing you've ever said or done can go on these worksheets. Or the worst thing that you thought anybody else has said. It's a safe, non-judgmental place to judge. So about that situation that you wrote in your number 1, what do you ever want to experience about that again? I don't ever want to be attacked like that again. I don't ever want to hear, I don't love you.
It's a hard one.
I don't ever want to get that angry. And, that statement is also like, I don't even want to think about that. I don't even want to think about getting that angry again. That was scary. I don't ever want to be told he doesn't love me. That hurts so much. But it doesn't mean we don't think about that, which is why, we write that down and turn it around. Okay. So let's turn the thoughts around after we inquire. Who would like to be facilitated?
Well, I'm always game, but I think somebody else could too. I'll be the last choice, but I would like to be that later. After Liz.
I did several with her one-on-one the other day, so I actually finally feel like I'm getting it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyone else?
Takes practice.
That's for sure.
We're just going to do a quick run through the process and turn it around.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. What's your number one, Barbara?
The top thing, I am enraged at Garrett because he asked for allowance after I discovered he relapsed.
Okay. So he relapsed. Is it true he asked you for his allowance?
Yes.
He asked you for his allowance after he relapsed. Can you absolutely know it's true? That's what he asked for.
Yes.
So when he did, after he relapsed, and you believe that he's asking you for that, how did you react? What happened?
Okay, I got enraged. I gave up on him. I got enraged because I felt invisible and taken advantage of and used. And I just really, for a moment in there, I really didn't care what happened to him. I was just triggered, something just snapped. So that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you see the same situation in your mind's eye,
Yeah.
he just relapsed,
Yeah.
and now he's asking you for his allowance. He's asking you for money. Who would you be? How would you react without the thought, he's asking me for his allowance?
I think I need to add one more piece. Okay. And I'm not sure where it goes, but I forgot to mention that on this day that he asked for allowance, he had put himself into this this bottom sober living, like a cry help place. So he was in it already. So he
Okay.
wasn't still using. So I just want to say that was also,
Okay.
I'm not looking at that, but that's something positive. Okay. So back to what you were asking me.
So he relapsed and he put himself somewhere, but now he's asking you for money.
Right. Like 3 days later.
So how would you react without the thought, he's asking me for money?
I would be very proud of him and loving towards him if he wasn't asking me for money.
Well, he did ask you for money. We're not going to change the situation.
Oh, okay.
So he asked you for money. We're not going to pretend that he didn't. The situation happened. And who would you be without the thought, he's asking me for his allowance now?
Yeah, who would I be without that? I would be, without that thought, I would be just fine and loving towards him. Without that thought, I would just be able to be in the room with him and maybe be a little scared, but also curious.
So let's turn it around. He's asking for his allowance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking for his allowance.
Yeah.
What could that mean to you? I'm asking for his allowance.
Like I'm asking for his understanding. I'm asking for him to allow me the grief and the time to process this shock. You know, I'm asking for him to allow me to be me. And asking, yeah, right. That's good.
He's not asking for his allowance. How could that be possible? When he's asking for money, How is it possible he's not asking for his allowance?
How is it possible he's not asking? Well, I don't know how to do that one.
Maybe he's asking for your attention.
Ah, nice.
Just thought of that.
No, maybe he's asking for a connection or something, because that's how I didn't say it, she said it. That's how we, in a sense, have connected over the years.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now that makes sense, huh?
That's Liz. Yeah, that was good.
That was good. Yeah.
So what was your question? How could I look at it as if he's not asking for his allowance?
He's
Well, I
not
could look at
asking
it,
for his allowance.
he's asking for a connection. Or maybe, you know what, even? He could be asking for some sort of reassurance that I still love him and that homeostasis is still the same. He'd ask me for his allowance and I'd give it to him every Monday.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so maybe he was asking for reassurance.
Yeah.
Too. Wow. That just gave me I almost kind of want to throw up.
That's how I felt.
Well, just to notice, you know, because we don't really know what his business is, but it could be just as
That's
true.
another
Right?
possibility instead of
Very, very, very possible.
demon Garrett.
He's not asking for his allowance. It's pretty awkward. Like, I don't really know what to talk about right now. So,
I'm sure. Yeah.
how about my allowance? Like, I don't know. I'm not in my right mind what I'm thinking and asking.
See, that's what's so interesting about this is because it like opens up. Like I was in this narrow wedge of rage towards him and thinking he's like a sociopath and all going down the road.
Oh,
And now all of a sudden it's like perhaps it was as simple. We don't know if it was as simple as he was just reaching out for some kind of connection.
Could be.
50-50. There's anything could be because I just don't know shit about him.
So we have, I'm asking for his allowance. He's not asking for allowance. I'm asking me for his allowance. Or my own. I'm asking me for my own allowance.
Well, if we look at allowance, like in the bigger sense of like allowance, I'm asking me to just be able to feel these feelings and be okay with it. Because the feeling that scared me the most is the giving up on him feeling, not caring what was going to happen.
There we go. Now that's what I feel too.
yeah.
That's really true.
I was throwing money
So
out.
I'm asking me for my allowance. I can find in my situation, I didn't do that. I didn't take a time out. I didn't step away. I wasn't breathing. I didn't ask me for anything.
Mm-mm.
I just reacted
Yeah.
because I'm believing my thoughts. I'm in fear mode. I'm believing the very things that make me angry. So in that moment, was there a choice to stop and ask you when you're believing like that?
Is there a choice for me to stop and ask me?
When you're believing all the thoughts,
Yeah.
he's relapsed, now he's asking for money. In that moment of believing, how dare he? Could you really stop and ask you?
Not in this lifetime. I don't think I could if I just slowed down and if I
If
was
we
like,
slow down.
yeah,
Right. So I didn't ask me because I don't have a practice of slowing down.
Mm-mm.
In those days for me, I had no calming practice. I wasn't questioning my thoughts.
Not 1
I
second.
was at the mercy of my beliefs.
Yeah.
And so I acted on them. No choice.
No, I didn't feel like there was a choice.
Right. Can you find where you really didn't have a choice?
Yes.
So, okay, what's your want? What's in your statement number 2? I want him to
to be aware and know how much his relapse shattered me. I want him to see and feel what he's doing.
Okay, you want him to know he shattered you. Is that true?
Yeah. I
And
see.
you absolutely know it's true. You want him to know he shattered you.
No, that's not true.
So how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? You want him to know he shattered you.
It's another element of hopelessness. It's just, I feel like if I want him to know how much he hurt me, like he can't know that. I can't want him into knowing that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like what was
So
your
how do you
question?
react when you believe that you want him to know that?
You want to punish him,
Yeah, punish.
Wait, yeah.
Punish and
right?
blame.
That's all I get. Like, I want to punish him. I want him to know how it feels. I want him to feel bad because he made me
Yeah.
feel bad.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I think that's going to stop it. I think that's going to somehow take care of it. It doesn't.
Right.
Makes things
When you
worse.
think of it, when we listen to that, sounds crazy.
Yeah.
All sounds crazy.
In the moment, I think, oh, I've got control back. I'm taking
Right.
back my power. But it costs me,
Mm-hmm.
it costs me everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's the point?
So
Right.
who would you be without the thought, I want him to know what? I want him to know
hurt me.
he hurt me. Who would
Would
you
I be without that thought?
without that thought?
I'd probably be much more like in the room, much more grounded, because I feel like I'm like grasping at something. I want him to know something, and it can't happen. He can't know that. And also, now that I think about it, I don't really want him to know how much he hurt me, because because of all his shame and guilt, then there's a story that I'm making up at this moment that he might get sad. But again, I don't know. So we could do this
Okay,
whole
so
thing.
you're moving right into a turnaround. I don't want him to know he shattered me.
No, now I don't.
Yeah,
I don't want him to know he shattered me, because
right.
he may get really, really sad.
Yeah, so I find he's not responsible for my sadness. I can take care of that myself.
Mm,
And he's not responsible for my happiness either.
Right.
that's so good, Joanne.
She's
I
on it.
do not, I really, really don't want him to ever know he shattered me. Because it's
A secret
not,
tiny place does though
it's
still.
not his job.
I know. Just a little tiny knife.
But what about boundaries?
We'll only, we'll go more into it.
Okay.
I don't want, if I'm truly in a place of forgiveness and understanding,
I don't want him
I
to.
don't want him to know he shattered me, because
No.
that would be shattering. Like that would
No.
that would
That
hurt
would be
me.
horrible.
That hurts me to even want it,
Yeah.
and it hurts him. Like there's
Yep.
no point in it. Like
No.
it's done.
And so then when I go to the what about me part, that's when I have to give myself.
Okay. I want me to know he shattered me.
Yeah. And I want me, I want me to, what?
I want me to know what
That,
you do. I want me to know I shattered him.
yeah.
That's to the other. I want me to know I shattered him
Mm.
During that moment when I lost my temper.
in that moment. Yeah.
Okay.
And only in that moment.
I don't want me to know that, because that feels terrible too. But I guess I'm supposed to want me to know that, because that's real, let's say.
That's real. Yeah. It is real. But we can take care of that.
Yeah.
But you can't take care of it until you notice it and take care of it. So I can find another. I want me to know I shattered him. I shattered him mentally. Oh my gosh. The things I was thinking about my son in that moment, like I shattered him in my mind.
Yeah, totally. I gave up. And for 4 years, I'd never given up. And I gave up. I didn't give a shit what happened in that moment.
I did. And with compassion, I'm just going to notice. Well,
Yeah.
Woo, whoa, wow.
Yeah. That was scary.
I went for a ride.
Yeah.
I do that every day.
Yeah. Believing my thoughts and stories, I take myself on a ride and I shatter him.
Did.
Now
Yeah.
we know how important this work is. So that happened. I want me to know I shattered me.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I want me to know I shattered me.
Yeah. I shatter me. That is not who I want to be. That's not my essence of love. I shattered my higher potential.
Mm.
And anytime I shatter someone else, I shatter me.
Yeah.
They are my reflection. If I shatter them, I am shattering me. Because I have moved out of love. It's the disconnect.
So then once we feel that, which is a hard thing to feel,
Mm-hmm.
then do we move into some kind of like self-compassion or something?
Okay, now should. What's your should? What's your next statement? What's your should?
Wait, where are we? Oh, we're on the first thing here?
On your
Should?
worksheet, he should.
Where, oh my gosh, wait a second. Where did that go? What number is it?
You're number 3.
3. Oh, he should stop being selfish, get a fucking job, just apologize, and stop being inconsiderate. These shoulds. Yeah.
So he should apologize. Is that true?
No.
How do you react when you believe the thought he should apologize?
When I believe it, it makes me mad and feel like, what have I done wrong? How could he turn out this way?
Well, for me, it's relief.
If you believe that he should apologize?
There's
Yeah.
no apology.
Hmm?
There's no apology. When you
Right.
believe he should apologize, I'm in total blame. Hey, you owe me an apology.
Right.
You owe me, and it better be coming soon. And it better be good enough.
Right. On your knees.
And then when it doesn't, it just sets us up for more disappointment and
Yep.
more anger.
Yep.
Only when we believe he should.
But that's it.
Right.
Should's the word. Should.
Okay, so who would you be without the thought, he should apologize to me?
I would be just I'd be living without that expectation, and I'd be in reality, and I'd be fine.
Yeah, you could let it go.
If I didn't have the should thought that he should be doing this, then I would just be okay.
Could you say,
What's that?
could you say, I should apologize to me?
Well, that's a turnaround. So we're just in who would you be without the thought, he should apologize. And I get information. I get helpful information. Oh, he's the one who's not apologizing. He's not in that place. Him not apologizing or making amends gives me information. Like I am going to be a little bit careful. No. It shows me what stage he's in. And that's good information for me to have.
It shows me that's the reality. The reality that happened shows me where he is. There's no guessing on that.
Right. So now I have a choice. I love him where he's at, and he's the one that doesn't apologize.
Right. That's who he is.
And I drop my expectation.
Right.
It doesn't mean I overlook it.
Right.
It doesn't mean I condone it. He's just the one who doesn't apologize.
Mm.
And you can feel disappointed about that.
Only if I expect the apology.
Right. Yeah, just yeah.
Only if I believe he should. So turn around. He should not apologize to me. Why
Right.
should he not apologize?
He should not apologize to me because he should not have to apologize for being himself. I mean, he
Do
shouldn't
you
have to.
believe that?
What?
Do you believe that? You really shouldn't apologize for being the way he is.
I thought that was a tricky answer. I thought that was good.
If it's true for you, yes. If it's true for you.
But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's true. Let's see. Can you ask it again?
So he should not apologize to me.
Oh, okay. Maybe he should not apologize to me because maybe he didn't do anything wrong.
Mm.
If we go back to that him wanting connection,
Oh, uh-huh.
maybe it's just like this is where his way.
Oh.
My head is swimming, by the way.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. So, and also I can find that he should not apologize to me. He's just not ready to deal with
Yeah,
it.
that too. To face what he did.
He's not. It would be harmful to him to rush his process.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't apologize to me because that's not my business.
Oh, there we go on that one again. Right. Because the
gives it-
shoulds are never my business.
He gives it or he doesn't. Not my business.
Right.
Okay, I should apologize to him.
Yeah.
Wow,
I should apologize.
if none of it is our business, it's like that fixes everything.
It kind of does, yes.
I noticed whenever we attach a should to something, it's not our business about another person.
Again, first or second class, the argument with reality.
Yeah.
The should and shouldn't, when it argues with reality, it's war. And you lose every single time. No ifs, ands, or buts. I should apologize to him.
Yeah.
I can find where it didn't matter what my son did. I'm accountable for my reaction. If I want to clean up my side of the street, I should apologize to him. Even if I do it mentally, or write a letter, or say it sometime in my life. I'm the one who told him I don't love him. It does not matter what he said or did before that. It's not who I want to be, how I want to be. I'm the one to apologize. With no motive that I get his apology someday. I just take care of my side of the street. I should apologize to me. In that situation, how can that be true? I should apologize to me.
For overreacting,
Yeah, it didn't feel so good.
for blaming him.
And the should works when I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, now we're on that turnaround. I should apologize to me
So that's okay. Yes.
in that situation. And also, I should apologize to me because I used that to beat myself up for years.
Mm.
I said that to my son. I attacked me. No one could attack me the way I attacked me. I should apologize to me for that. I did not give myself compassion.
Mm.
I did not hold myself with love. I did not forgive me. I made it the most unforgivable thing a person could ever do. And I attacked me more than anyone else could ever do. I should apologize to me. And if I do that, I might be a more peaceful person when somebody attacks me again, because I can sure understand how that happens. And if I apologize to me, I might not go on the attack again.
Hmm.
What's your need? What's your next statement? The need? I need him to.
Well, apologize. See me. That's a fresh one. I just need him to see me.
Is that true?
No,
How
because
do
I
you
can't.
react when you believe I need him to see me?
Well, I can't. Is that true that I need him to see me? Well,
I need him to see this is affecting me. I need him to know. Like I need him to know. Like this is so hurtful
yeah,
to me.
I would like that. Yes, I would like him to see the effect of this on me.
So how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought? I need him to see the effect of it.
It's like this desperate. Whenever I'm with him, it like colors our interactions, because when I'm looking at him, I don't see anything but my need for him to see me. And he could be telling me his head's on fire, but all I would say is, wait, you're not acknowledging. It's like it gets in the way. Like I see it
Right.
physically. It's like a
Right.
wall.
Living in an illusion.
Yeah, like seeing, like he doesn't see me, and when it's complicated, but also I guess then I'm not seeing him either.
Okay, so who would you be without the thought? I need him to see me. I need him to understand and see the effect that this is having on me. Who would you be without that story?
I'd be in the room better. I'd be in reality. If I didn't have that need thought, I would just be there with him, look, just
Can you
in the
feel it?
present. What?
Can you feel that?
Yes, I can see it in the room. In the
Okay,
room.
I don't need him to turn it around. I don't need him to see this. I don't need it to be happy. I don't need that.
Yeah. In theory. Yeah.
In fact, I need him to not see it. How can that be true? I need him not to see it.
Well, we can say that because it would be so shattering for him to see what he did until he comes on it. And until he comes to it on his own, I think I don't need him to see it right now. And assuming he's not a sociopath, he will come to it on his own one day.
And really, in reality, are you doing okay without him seeing?
Yes, doing okay without him. Yes, I am. I just have to be really careful when I'm in the room with him, of seeing him besides just my need.
Yeah.
But yes.
So I need me to see the effect it's having on him.
I need me to see the effect. Yeah. Right.
Eyes wide open.
Yeah.
In reality. Without the needs, the wants, the shoulds. Not condoning. Not overlooking. Just aware and present. Loving. But I need me to see the effect it's having on me. How is that true?
I think that's true. Because I haven't allowed myself to really see or feel the effect on me. I just make up this story that I'm shattered. I can say that. I write it all on it, but I don't know what that means.
Wow, yeah. So if someone has to see this, should it be him or you?
Me.
Yeah, I really need to see my pain so I can take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see it from all these different angles because it's the only way I'm going to understand it and heal. So I'm not blaming other people.
No. Right. I get it. So yeah, I see.
They're gonna apologize or not. They're gonna get it or not. Can I get it? I need to take care of me. This is an inside job all the time.
Wow. And so seeing how his relapse, it's scary because it's deep stuff in there. But just if I acknowledge that in me, that's the start.
Yes, it's a most beautiful start. So with your number 6, we'll skip number 5. And for your number 6, what don't you ever want to experience again?
I don't want to ever experience the feeling that I gave up on him. That was scary.
How can you just say out loud, I'm willing to experience that feeling again?
I'm willing to experience the feeling that I gave up on him.
Or the thought.
Yeah. Well, I'm willing, yeah. It's not my choice.
How can you look forward to thinking you gave up on him?
That's a tough one again.
Because the thought may come sometime in your future. How can you look forward to it? How can it be okay to think?
Well, because it would be a bottom. It would be my bottom, lowest point, and so I know there's only up from there. Like if I ever give up on him again, I'd know that I would have to climb back out of that hole because that's not who I am. It's just a feeling. So if I can look forward to feeling like I give up on him, that means there's up after that. That's all best I can do.
Yeah. I could look forward to it because sometimes I really need to catch. I need to see the depth of my pain and confusion to take.
Oh, that's good too.
It's just the way it seems to happen for me. I go into these dark places and it's like, okay, yeah, I got to take care of this.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. That makes a lot of sense. Yes. It's a trigger. It shows me. It's like a mirror saying, wow, if you give up on him, there's something you need to really work on.
Yes. It is an invitation. Something has to get our attention.
Oh, that's a big one. That's excellent.
That will get our attention. Okay, so there is an amount of self-study in this course, so I invite you to read up on forgiveness, to really understand the effects of unforgiveness and the effects of forgiveness. Again, forgiveness is not about condoning letting someone off the hook. We read about that, but it really is creating peace from deep inside of you, and taking care of the anger so that you're not perpetuating it against yourself or other people. So forgiveness, deep forgiveness when there's no more sting to what they said or did, is immediate compassion and love. I would say forgiveness is love. So the effects of forgiving really, look at this list: weakened immune system, fatigue, hormonal imbalance, bitterness, depression, disturbed sleep, and inability to cope. The opposite is health, energy, balance, peace, an allowance for joy, better sleep, and your coping. Forgiveness is essential. It is the cornerstone of love and happiness. Okay, so forgiveness doesn't excuse their actions. Forgiveness stops their actions from destroying your heart. Your natural state of love. It's who you are. You can't stop you from being loved, but forgiveness will mask it. Unforgiveness will mask it. So it's never too late to forgive. And when you take a look at your worksheet or consider anybody in your life who hasn't been forgiven by you, is it possible to forgive now what seemed to be pretty unforgivable then, after you do inquiry? Would it be possible to forgive?
Yes.
And Katie says something like, forgiveness is realizing that what you thought happened didn't happen that way. I thought he attacked me. It didn't really happen that way. He was sharing his sadness, his anger, not attacking me. I was the one attacking him and attacking me. That's true. So I can forgive him and take care of that kind of situation far differently when I understand it. Okay, so how would you, after class, I invite you to take some time after these classes and maybe journal a little bit and consider, how would you like someone to show you forgiveness? How would you know someone's forgiven you? What evidence would you see that would have you think they've forgiven me? What would that look like?
They're compassionate.
They're compassionate. They're asking questions about me. They want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
They smile at me.
Mm.
They let me be who I am. They give me some time to regroup, adjust to this. They tell me I'm okay. They tell me they love me. They say, it's really, I get it. I forgive you. You want to talk about it some more? Let's talk about it some more. Let's work it out. I would know I'm forgiven if that happens. So how can you give that to yourself? How can you talk it out with yourself? How can you give yourself compassion? How can you smile at it? How can you say, oh, honey, look what you were believing. I love you. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
How can you want to hang out with you again? That's how you forgive. When you give that to yourself, it becomes pretty natural to give it to someone else. That compassion, like Lisa said, is so deep, it's so profound, that the understanding brings forgiveness and love. It doesn't mean we look the other way. It doesn't mean that maybe we're not careful. It doesn't mean that we will, go to pet a rabid raccoon. We're not going to do that. But we can forgive a rabid raccoon for being a rabid raccoon. That's what raccoons do. They're rabid and they attack, right? It doesn't mean I'm going to get in its way. Okay, so if you would, please, would you grab a piece of paper and pen and find somebody that you'd like to apologize to, whether it be from your worksheet tonight or something else, and would you write a letter of apology and state what it is you're apologizing for? And how you'd like to make it right, and how you might do, what you might do to make it right. Say something nice about them. Pick out their nice qualities, the things that you love about them, and then tell them you love them. How you doing? Okay, so I just drafted something really quick. May I read it? And I invite you all to consider reading yours out loud. Dear Kevin, I'm so sorry I told you I don't love you. It's not true. I could never not love you because you're so amazing. I was so misguided. I'm so sorry I hurt you. I will take care of my anger. I will question my thoughts so I don't blame you. I will try and learn how to communicate better with you. How can I make this right with you? You are precious, sweet, loving, caring, and full of light. I love you so much. Okay, so now I'd like you to take your letter and read it to you. Dear Barbara, dear Lisa, dear Deborah, dear Liz. So I'm so sorry, Joanne. I told you that I don't love you. It's not true. Joanne, I could never not love you because you're amazing. Joanne, I was so misguided. I'm so sorry I hurt you, Joanne. I'm going to take care of my anger. Joanne, I will question my thoughts so that I don't blame you or anyone, and I will try and learn to communicate better with you and others. Joanne, how can I make this right with you? You are precious, Joanne. You are sweet, loving, caring, and full of light. I love you so much, Joanne. So can you take some time to read your letter to yourself that way? And if you'd like to read it out loud, I invite you to do that with witnesses to hold you in love and understanding.
Are we reading it to ourselves or to the person we wrote it to?
Just to yourself for now. How does it feel to read it to yourself?
Good.
Does it feel healing? Does it feel applicable?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Accusing her of being sorry for the certain things that I should look at myself about too.
Yeah. So if you wrote it to somebody else, unless you're really, really clear about why you ever read it or give it to them, if you have truly, truly forgiven them and you want nothing at all from them, and you have given yourself full compassion and forgiveness, then consider giving it to them, but not until you've given it to yourself fully. So when we believe that someone hurt us, we may become confused and or defensive. But this is what's happening with everyone. This is why people lash out. This is blame and resentment. It's everybody. We're all in the same boat, believing our thoughts and reacting. So we believe our thoughts or question them. Questioning brings our personal freedom. So coming to the truth and the peace of that truth is where forgiveness happens. The deep forgiveness where it doesn't keep showing up. So apology is acknowledging an offense and being accountable for our behavior and not apologizing for how someone feels because of it. So it's not, oh, I'm really sorry you feel angry. It's, I'm sorry for what I did that contributed to anger. And amends is to compensate or make up. It's to make something right. So that's a full apology with an amends, and that's what changes things. And we're going to see that in our children's actions when they say and do things. It's the actions. So amends, we want to be looking for that from ourselves, and it gives us some information when we're getting these things from our children, when we're not. So until it's lived, again, self-realization has no power. So it's taking these worksheets and seeing what is your prescription for peace and how you can give it to yourself first. And that's how you live it. When you're giving it to yourself, it becomes who you are and how you're being, so that you can, with a clean slate, apologize to somebody else and make amends and not need it back. So Brene Brown writes, owning our own story can be hard, but not nearly as difficult as spending our lives running from it. Embracing our vulnerabilities is risky, but not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love and belonging and joy, the experiences that make us the most vulnerable. And only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. And that is all possible when we hold our guilt and shame and we forgive. Not easy. We're diving deep here in this class. So just hold yourself, give yourself whatever you came to in your worksheets and in your apology letter. Give it. Really, that's homework. Just give it to yourself. Okay, so homework will be your daily breathing, daily gratitude, and do inquiry on at least one thought. Maybe half an hour, 30 to 40 minutes each. And again, read your apology letter slowly and in a private space. Try to read it out loud to yourself and then just sit in silence and take it in. Really just absorb your self-apology. Okay. So in closing, can you all talk about what you're taking from this class, or a word or anything that is happening in you? And I just want to read this. One day she realized that life was too short to carry unforgiveness. So she took a deep breath, let it all go, and focused on gratitude for all her blessings instead. She felt so light and free. It was the greatest gift she'd ever given herself. So thank you all for doing this deep dive work, having the courage to share with yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
What are you taking away with you?
I think clarity, just a little bits of clarity each time. Little bits, and sometimes it's amazing. I mean, tonight we had a couple amazing, when you just see it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps your thinking.
It
Yeah.
does. My head's still spinning, so I couldn't even take notes. So I guess there's a way to watch this or something. But I know there's hope in there because some big stuff happened.
Yes.
Or little stuff
Yeah.
happened.
Definitely.
So
I'll be sending the recording.
okay.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
What are you taking away?
I'm just learning to be quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to know. Oh, can't hear you, Deb. You're on mute.
I said I've learned so much. It's just overwhelming. I just want to keep applying it.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you all. I'll send out the recording and the homework tomorrow, and your homework buddies. How's it going with homework buddies? Are you able to meet with each other? Are you all still interested?
I'm terrible, and I apologize. I've been just terrible. I've been so crazy busy. I'm the worst person. I'm so sorry. And it's not that I don't want to. I just am crazy.
Well, you can write an apology letter to yourself.
Yeah.
There we go.
So let me ask you: does everybody still want to be partnered up for homework?
I think it's good to try.
Yeah, me too.
Is that a yes, Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You'll still do? Okay. So I'll partner you guys up again. And if you have any, like if something happens and you really can't meet with your partner, let them know that, and then get in touch with me. Okay. Because this really gets so empowered when you take your thoughts to inquiry and learn how to facilitate someone else so that you can facilitate yourself when our class is done, and bring yourself to your own freedom and work this stuff out. And you'll have questions. So I'm here now. I'm going to support you after the course, but just when you practice this, those questions and concerns come up, and I can clarify them for you. So that becomes an important piece to homework. And just know that when you're meeting with your buddy, wow, I mean, it just has a ripple effect into the world, into, for your children and others, and you're really supporting one another. So amazing. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Mhm.